Bro, this game, redone, HD, classic servers with voice actors. I think I'd literally lose my mind. I would pay $1 million.
What's going on, Workforce? The dream is real. It's a weird time for any of us right now. Fans of Final Fantasy XIV, fans of Final Fantasy XI, fans of Final Fantasy in general. Like the mood and the temperature around the games and its various releases are all over the map. Obviously, we're seeing a huge influx of Final Fantasy XI players right now. I'm not going to give 100% credit to Ninja. This was actually happening, I think, before he started streaming it, but it's really exciting to see like him and his brother playing. And one of the things that I've said about this privately is like, there is a little bit of jealousy that I have for that, not because of the volume in which that he's watching, but that he actually gets to play with his brother. I could never get my brother into Final Fantasy XI. To this day, it would be even more impossible now. It's really a hard game, I think, that fights some of the players, especially new players who might not be, I guess, used to it. Having had played it, it's so much easier to get in. But before we begin, I've been joking about this on the stream. We're going to be talking about the expectations of Final Fantasy XI for the December 2nd FanFest, in which that we're hopefully supposed to get some news and some announcements. But this video is more like, kind of, hey, let's just keep it reasonable. Let's not set our expectations to an unbelievable hype level that cannot be obtained. But we obviously opened with the Ninja quote saying that he's going to spend $1 million, or he'd be willing to spend $1 million to see classic HD, classic servers, HD graphics, voice acting. Obviously, I think that kind of budget would take way more than $1 million. I think anybody would fall into that boat. But I want to discuss it. I wanted to discuss what I hope and how I'm setting my expectations for December 2nd, and hopes that, I'd love to know what you guys want, what you guys are thinking, because it's coming up. We are not that far away. We're coming off of FanFest, coming off of obviously the hype for Shadowbringers, going back into hype for Final Fantasy XI. It's a really exciting time. So if you don't mind, hit that like button if you're a prophet and you know exactly what I'm going to say and you enjoy. It's sad, really. I feel kind of gross saying it before the video, namely because it does work. It's like regardless, we always see an uptick. We're going to see an uptick in thumbs down because I said it, but it's welcome to either way you press the button, you prophets out there who... it's so weird. Anyway, so December 2nd, they're doing a Japanese-only FanFest for Final Fantasy XI. If you guys aren't aware of it, they've announced that Yoshi P is over all of the Division 5. That's Final Fantasy XI, Final Fantasy XIV. Obviously, Final Fantasy XIV being kind of the flagship MMO for them right now, but he's come off this last year saying that Final Fantasy XI is doing really good and that they've got plans for the game. And we've always known that they've been working on the mobile edition, which it's been actually kind of interesting. A lot of people don't know that. It was announced over 2 years ago when they said they were pretty much retiring Final Fantasy XI. They weren't going to be working on it. But then they went ahead and continued to work on it. I think if anything, if there's any hope in any of this, it's the fact that Yoshi P cannot be trusted. You literally cannot trust this guy. We're getting a job in Final Fantasy XIV mid-expansion patch. We're getting so much stuff that he's like, yeah, we're not going to do that, or we can't do that, or it's going to be hard. I think at the end of the day, he's a really excellent showman. It's curious that he's been, quoted a lot this last year. This last year alone, 2018, talking about Final Fantasy XI, talking about they're going to show it when the battle system's ready, that they're working on it. Obviously, this is developed in partnership with Nexion. Unless something has changed, we're not fully well aware of it. What I'm actually the most concerned about is that it's going to be mobile only. With the Diablo Immortal fiasco, with all of that, I'm not a mobile game player. I'm just not. Will I download it? Yeah. Will I play it? Maybe a day, maybe a week. Just kind of tool around with it as an experience to see what it's about. If it's mobile and Switch, PS4, Xbox One, PC, that in and of itself would be amazing. People have long said, hey, 14 on the Switch. It's like, well, there's definitely a growing population that's like, at some point they're going to have to drop that support unless it's cloud-based. But for 11, it could work, and it could work really well. We'll have to wait and see. The visuals they showed for 11 look amazing. They've kind of teased it with some still images. We've never really seen video footage of it. is this the year that it gets announced? And I think, honestly, that is going to make the most sense. That's going to make the most announcements. I know there's a lot, and I think people even quoted me on some of the Final Fantasy XI forums saying that, Brian thinks a new expansion's coming. I don't. Would I love a new expansion? Well, kind of, because I actually just recently bought Seekers of Adeline. I'm working my way to finish Change of Promethea, and so there's plenty of content for me to still do in the game. Last night we were doing a community game night, and I've got my Blue Mage to 62, and there's still plenty of things that I'm looking forward to doing in the game itself, and I'm having a really good time with it. Would I like a new expansion? If it brought me Time Mage, for freaking sure. I've always wanted to see Time Mage and how it would work in Final Fantasy 11. I know. Before you go and post angry comments like it would never work because of haste. I hear you. But that still doesn't mean the heart doesn't want what it wants, and that's something that I really would, I think, enjoy for Final Fantasy 11. Same thing with Final Fantasy 14, and I know, Astrologian. Anyway, so I don't think we're going to see a new expansion. I don't think we're going to see this game come to consoles. I don't think they're going to do anything big with Final Fantasy 11. I want them to do that. I want to be so wrong, more wrong than I've ever wanted to be wrong in my whole life. I want them to show up and do and say all those things. I want them to bring it back to consoles. I want them, whether they strip out PlayStation Online or not. I don't, I think they would have to if they were going to bring it to modern consoles. I think it'd be really cool to see what that would do. But the amount of work, the amount of investment that it would take, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think obviously Final Fantasy 11 is still profitable for them because they're still running it. It's still a subscription-based MMO. They just recently returned the free trials, but Ninja is still streaming it, and he's streaming it on a private server. And like we saw in the beginning of this video, he has pledged $1 million for classic HD servers with voice acting. I don't think that's going to happen. I would be interested to see if they decided to do classic servers, if that came back as an announcement, because there's obviously a market for it. And you've obviously seen with him streaming and him streaming with his friends. I don't think it's about the fact that there's no subscription fee for the private server. I think it's just that Square Enix is not offering what they want. That's not what I want. I actually really enjoyed the changes they've made in 11. It makes it way more friendly for people who aren't professional streamers and who can play the games for longer periods of time. So with a whole group of people that they come in with. If you're going to bring classic servers into it, bring a crew, bring a squad, squad up, and then you're going to have a much better time. If you're trying to seek and trying to find that, that's where it just doesn't necessarily make sense to me. But I get the demand, I get what people are wanting with that. So I think honestly we're probably not going to hear anything about classic servers coming back. I think that Square Enix is going to continue to monitor the market. I think if anything else, if I was a betting man, I'm betting they're going to see what the reception is for WoW Classic, because the amount of work and maintenance, and how do you say that you want to log into a classic server versus kind of a current progression server, and it's the weird thing is about progression is like they're not really supporting it. As far as in-game content, like if we don't get an expansion, obviously the things that I want are all purely quality of life. They've introduced a lot of things, but for me personally, I still play this game with the wiki open on the second monitor. I think that if you're going to play this game in its current form, you still need to have the wiki open on a second monitor. It is just a game that requires that. And so the argument that we wouldn't want to see like kind of quest markers over people's heads indicating they have a starting of a quest, giving some kind of hint of where to go, and then obviously if there's a quest step like, oh, you need to go into this area or click on this gate, that would be huge. That would be huge, kind of the quest journal. I don't see that happening, but man, that would be such a huge benefit. People, you might think that's easy mode. Honestly, it's literally the fact that I wouldn't have to have the wiki open up on the second monitor, and that's just me. So that's let's set our expectations low. The reason I do this for a lot of movies as well, setting expectations incredibly low. That way, come December 2nd, they announce the mobile, they show us off on the mobile, and all is good and exciting, as opposed to, oh man, I was expecting that they would come in and say that it's coming back to all of these things, and then finding myself personally disappointed or the community disappointed. Who knows? Like, hope for the best, expect nothing. And hopefully December 2nd and December 3rd, when we're talking about this information next week, will be an exciting conversation, that's really looking at the community as a whole. It's so cool to see so many people playing Final Fantasy XI. It's so cool to see so many people talking about it. I think there is something to be said about its timelessness and what it offers where other current modern games don't currently offer anything. But let's have that discussion. Let me know what you guys are thinking, what you're hoping for December 2nd, what you're expecting. I don't want to be an overhype machine for this specifically because I think we've had enough upset gaming moments in 2018, and it would be stink to be able to kind of run that off into December and be like, it's like no. Like there's so much good happening right now in gaming. Let's focus on that. Let's have that conversation. For Work to Game, my name is Brian. Hit that like button. Gosh, I hate myself right now. All right. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Oh, excuse me. What's up, workforce? Chuck here, telling you should totally like, favorite, subscribe, share, dance, raise your hands in the air. I'm off camera. I'm off frame. I'm new at this. Hey, listen. Yes. You haven't hit that subscribe button. You totally should. I recommend it. Chuck approved. Anyway, also, thanks to all the Patreons. You're in the corners. Whoa!